Okay, I think we're ready to go.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe.
Oh, yeah.
It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please.
Boogie with a suit.
As long as we have done our
Oh, shit, I need to get back to this, don't I?
no one can do more.
Hello there, boys and girls. I'm Siobhan. Welcome to the Flesh and Blood podcast. That over there is Brian. That down there is Eddie. And joining us as an extra special surprise is Professor Dave and Lilibet the Wonder Girl.
Hello!
What?
Oh, stop it, you old fool. The show's now become 75% more foolish.
No.
But it's balanced by Lilibet, you see. The sense. That's how they make such a good couple.
Eddie looks so disgruntled that we're on here. It's just like
I'm not at all.
I've just got away from you.
I've always wanted to meet Father Christmas. Oh,
Yeah, I only come once a year, but when I do, I feel you stop it.
oh, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
That was your surprise, love.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, and you thought it was going to be
Merry
something
Christmas.
good.
Oh, this is better. This is so much better. Cheers.
Then,
Bless.
so much better then. Now be very careful what we say here.
Oh no, I said then. That was where that came from. No, what's
So
the
much better
drinking?
than life on Mars. There you go.
Oh, Brian, as far as you're concerned, a brick is better than life on Mars.
As far as I'm concerned, syphilis is better than life on Mars.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that in your dating profile if I was you.
You never know the girls around here.
Whereabouts are you in the States?
Central New York.
Oh, yeah, syphilis is seen as an upgrade.
Yes.
God almighty. Anyway, yes, welcome to the Flesh and Blade Christmas staff party. That's what
Oh,
this is.
lovely. Thank you for inviting us.
That's all
We
right.
plan
ho,
on being
ho.
drunk soon.
I have a glass of sherry.
Lovely.
Oh,
I know. And I might get something out afterwards.
And you've got your
People
cheese.
think this is iced tea.
all I've got's water, but I'll soon sort that out. Hold on, I'll get the boy.
Ah, the boy.
Boy.
Don't open the door. Ah, dear. It's good to see you both. It really is.
I think I've got a spot coming up between my eyes, just that little bit there.
No, it's between
So-
your shoulder blades.
No, if it comes along later on, that may be a bit of a treat for people later on. Shall I try it now? I'll wait and see.
Ew.
What?
How long have you
Married
two
in
been
English,
married?
they said.
2013?
2013, so a good 7 years.
It's 7.5 years, yes.
Yeah, and you haven't beaten that out.
7.5
of him yet.
years. Oh,
Uh-huh. I'm going to actually close. I'm recording in the bedroom and he's recording in the dining room so we don't get echo. But I'm actually going to close the bedroom door all the way.
Have you got line of
I'm
sight
hearing
to
a bit
him?
of echo. No.
Okay, we're not getting any echo on here.
No,
Okay.
that sounds fine.
We're good? Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
if you
that's
don't
right,
have
yes.
line of sight, that means you can't throw something at him.
I've got my window open here, which because it's 68 degrees and sunny.
Oh, that's nice.
Or,
Oh, that's
as they call it in Florida, a
Winter.
bit chilly, yes.
Yes.
It's -3 here,
Oh, that's very cold.
and I have a
Yes.
hole in my wall where the cat flap was.
Uh-oh.
So the more it goes, tiddly pom.
Uh-huh.
Indeed. Right, anyway, so well, we normally start out with asking what sort of week people have had, as we've got guests. Do we go to the elderly and confused or to the with it teacher? We'll go to the with it teacher. Elizabeth, what sort of week have you had, love?
So far so good. We had a quiet Christmas, the two of us, and got to talk to my family and everything else, but kept our germs to ourselves. Thank you
Yes.
very much indeed.
Yeah.
But a nice relaxing sort of week. Made nice Christmas dinner, did some baking, did some just relaxing.
What was the recipe you tried out? I saw a post, sort of you were thanking Federer. Was it Yorkie Goods?
Yes, I did roasted potatoes.
All right.
And I don't normally I do baked potatoes or mashed, but Dave asked for roasted for Christmas.
Yeah.
And when
And
I was
Brussels
there,
sprouts.
and Brussels sprouts.
And
Why?
you spend the night in bed with me afterwards. Oh, you lucky girl.
When I was over for Christmas, our first year that we got married, we stayed with Fedra, and she showed me how to make roasted potatoes and used, I think she used goose fat.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't have any of
yeah,
that.
goose fat is good.
Yeah, I
Brian's
didn't have any of
a culinary
that.
person.
So I melted Crisco with some peanut oil so that I had a higher smoke point and did that. And they came out really good.
Nice,
No.
very nice. I usually use duck fat.
We need to say a
Oh,
quick hello to
excellent.
chat. Radox the Green's in there. And he is green today.
Hello,
Right.
Radox.
Brian, I'm glad you got those words the right way round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been very embarrassing.
What about you, you old
I'm
fool?
used to it.
What sort of a week did you have? I can't remember, can you?
Yes,
It's
it was
gone.
very busy on Christmas Eve, going to all the children's bedrooms, delivering presents. Ho, ho, ho.
I thought you had a restraining order.
Yeah.
It gets
Being
lifted
married-
once a year.
Ah,
Being
right. okay.
married means that I'm not allowed to say anymore. If a jolly fat bearded man comes into your bedroom, pretend you're asleep.
I'm just thinking fish fingers.
Oh yeah.
Captain
Custard.
Birdseye. Either that or when I was in 2020, Del Boy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've the thing about being old, people take the mickey out of you.
I know.
But-
I know.
Yeah, because it happens to you as well.
It does.
But the thing is, to get to this point means you've actually survived. And the young people, I say to them, yeah, you're laughing at me for getting old. Something that you've not proved capable of yet.
Act your age. I don't know how to. I've never been this old before. That's essentially it. Right. Well, let's go on to our normal people.
Where are they?
Exactly. Where are they?
We have more guests?
Miney,
Yes.
Dippy
Busy
O'Brien.
TARDIS.
What a week! What sort of
It's
week?
been a
is it?
lovely week, actually. Nice and slow on the
just
work
burped.
front.
Excuse me.
Had the kids over for Christmas dinner. Made a roast. It was beautiful.
I finally understood his roast as well, and I approve of it. You can have a lolly, Brad.
Thank you.
That's all right, love.
I made a boneless rib roast.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
That's not a cut. I mean, Dave and Eddie might be able to correct me here, but I don't think that's a cut we get over here, is it?
No.
You have cows. You should automatically have it.
Yeah, but we're British. We go for the blandest cuts of meat.
Speak for yourself.
It's Harvey.
It's Harvey.
Hi,
Busy
Harvey.
TARDIS.
It's a puppy dog. Oh, doggy.
Talking of cuts of meat.
No, you're not. No, don't laugh at that.
It's okay. I don't cook Chinese.
Deep fried in batter.
Oh, you can retract
Oh.
that, young man.
Oh, no, no.
All right. I don't.
We
cook
don't do
Korean.
that on the blade. Don't you be trumpet us.
Rosie decided to come join me, but she's less interested in being over here and more interested in basking in the sunshine. From the window.
I am concerned that I might get another visitation from Chestnut, which means everything's going to go tits up. Seriously.
My dog's alive.
Doesn't matter. I've got the microphone, I've got the keyboard, I've got everything else here, and go.
Oh my God, you went very Jones Simpson. I got the microphone, I got the key. I don't need anything else.
That sounded like Zippy.
Well, yes, but I was trying to give you an upgrade there. I was trying to be nice because it's Christmas.
So I sounded like who? I thought you said Jones.
Joan Sims.
Cheers, sir.
Okay. All right. That's a little bit out of left field, to be honest.
Well, it is, but it's just this sort of all right. You sound like an old drunk lady.
Well, I have had half a glass of sherry.
Well,
To
I
be
know
fair, I mean, she kind of.
is an old drunk lady.
Yeah.
I know, but which
One
one?
day we will meet.
The old.
Remember that.
I have an ocean here. I'm safe. I'm safe for now.
Uh-huh. Okay. Don't
You're
worry.
gonna
I'm
get in your
remembering
blue
all this 'cause
box or use the flying umbrella.
in a few years' time, either you're going to come to USA, I'm ignoring that, or I'm coming over there, and I will shove that umbrella, and then I'll open it.
I've just got this image in my head now, which is a cross between Mary Poppins and Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, you should have seen our role-playing game.
Basically, the umbrella coming out of the neck.
You should have seen our role-playing game. She was
Oh.
Lieutenant Poppins.
I
Instead
was
of Captain
Captain
Britain.
Somerset. Well, Mama said.
Uh-huh.
You right there, my dears?
You were Captain Marmoset?
Not Marmozette. Oh, God. You did evil things. Anyway, yes. And Eddie, what sort of week have you had? Because I've no idea now.
Well, it's a busy TARDIS, and great. This is everybody that I've met online this year, all in the one go. So this is great stuff. I'm enjoying this, and a lot of Jack Daniels and Coke, courtesy of the boy. This
Lovely.
week
Good boy.
it started good because we were told that we would get Jack home for Christmas Day.
Yep.
Then we get a
Sure.
phone call at 6:30 at Sainsbury's. We're doing our weekly shop and get told that we might not, which became we weren't, which became in Christmas Eve that we were. So we get Jack home for dinner. So with the whole, we had Jack, Sean, my mother-in-law, can't have it every way, me, Angela, Harvey for Christmas dinner. It was nice, quiet, but with little circle.
You
It
had
was great.
Harvey
Really
for
enjoyed it.
Christmas dinner?
Of course.
You
It's like
harsh,
he
harsh
eats-
person.
behave.
So actually, yeah, it is a small thing. The good thing is Angela doesn't take up much space around the table.
Well, she's imaginary.
Exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
She's a great cook, though. Really good cook.
Well, you think that.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Well, I suppose we better do a thing here, hadn't we?
We did
where
our
is it? It's
homework.
Yes, I know. And I'm
We had
grateful
Right
homework?
before we had a power cut. And then when our power came back on, the building's fire alarm went off.
We
So-
were
Dave
supposed to
sent me.
do
Oh,
stuff?
Dave, there was nothing wrong with your sound. I was wearing the wrong set of headphones.
It's the professionalism I've come to respect over you in the years.
Boys,
that passed.
boys, defend me about our professionalism and our standards here on the Blade.
Oh, we have them.
yeah.
They're low. They're very low.
Sort
but
of
we have them.
Subterranean, to be fair.
Conceptually, they do exist.
Yes, as an idea.
Yes.
We've just never put them down on paper.
No, it's
practice
safer
them.
this way. Right, anyway, from now, from the world's BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's Doctor Who, with luck. I love it. I've got this mournful piece of Doctor Who music playing, and all you hear is Lilith laughing.
Actually, we got
was
enough
it me?
people here. Can I just say we got enough people here? We can do a Mexican wave. Me to Brian to Eddie to Elizabeth to Siobhan.
Yeah, you see, the trouble is, we're each on each other's screens. We're in different orders.
Not in Twitter, we're totally different order.
Yeah. So it's going to be disjointed
It's
no
okay.
matter who starts it.
If people are drunk, that'd be fine for them.
Brian,
Hey, Macarena.
Eddie,
Aye.
Lilibet. Come on. And yay, look, I've got another hand.
Yeah.
Lilibet's looking at notes. Lilibet's prepared for this. This is
Oh
gonna
well,
be-
I was prepared and we did do notes, but I'm looking at crochet actually.
That was my second guess.
That's a sensible option, really, if I'm honest. Anyway,
Fair. It's probably more interesting.
the 13th Doctor Who, probably, I don't know anymore,
Yeah.
picks up a distress signal from Earth. So goes down to have a little look. And there's a couple of, I'm not quite sure, I think they're archaeologists and they're doing something underground. And there's a thing they find. And one of the archaeologists puts it under some sort of heat lamp or something like that, which he should not have done. No touch pod.
It's a UV light. It's
yeah.
used to sterilize.
And then a big
No, that was an in-joke reference.
and there was a
I
big
was on that.
What?
I was on No Touch Pod.
You were.
Yeah,
So was I.
yeah. It was
Mind
good,
you, I
that was.
wrote it, so
I know you did. At least I'm not guilty of that.
Hey, I'm proud of that song. It's daft as a brush, takes the piss brilliantly, and quite frankly, Chris's production on it was excellent.
Yeah, it was. We listened to it earlier this year, and it's suddenly my voice comes out. I was like, "Oh yeah, I was on this."
Chris, the thing is, Chris cut your bollocks off.
Well, let's be honest, it doesn't take an awful lot.
Yeah, because at the end of every line, at the end of every chorus, we'd say a line that would take the piss out of Doctor in Distress. And at the end of each of those, Dave would say bollocks. And Chris, for some reason, cut that out for the single edit.
Yeah, well,
Can't understand why.
God
He
bless
had
you,
such
Chris.
hopes for it. He really had such hopes for it.
Did he?
Yeah.
I got a message for him. Bollocks.
Yeah, basically. But I mean, I'm proud of that. Anyway, we're looking at Resolution, last year's Doctor Who special on New Year's Day, because next Friday, at the time of recording, Revolution of the Daleks is on, which we will be looking at next Sunday. So this is a sort of catch-up thing. Plus, I don't think we've looked at it on the show yet. So let's go guests first, I suppose. And I'm always going to go to Lilibet first because it gives him a chance for a nap.
To be fair, she's old. She nods off during the regular show too. We have to wake her up.
It's true.
Okay, so general overview, I guess.
Yeah, give us a thingy.
Well, I really like, and of course I can't remember her name, but the girl who was on Call the Midwife.
Charlotte Ritchie.
That's her.
I
really like everything with her in it. All of her acting in this was just really, really good, really well played. Probably the best in the episode. And I believe that she's scared, and she's properly scary at moments. And having previously seen her play a very soft-spoken character, her character on Call the Midwife. This was kind of fun to watch her play somebody being taken over and somebody being, being evil by accident, I guess. So I quite enjoyed her performance.
I'm going to have to suggest that one to Sinister. That's your next excuse on the next public release. You're being evil by accident. It's only right and proper. What do you think of the pacing of it?
I think that it slows down in places where you don't want it to slow down. But this whole year, I've had a major problem with their plot structuring. Mm-hmm. They tend to start really well and then fall apart in Act 3.
Yes, I can
forget to write in Act 3. And I think the key plot problem here, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I think the key plot problem here is the villain is so overpowered and the hero is so underpowered that the only way you solve it is a Deus Ex Machina.
I mean, that microwave is Chekhov's gun being loaded, isn't it? I mean,
well, and not only that, but you have to go against your own rules because they tell us that the Dalek is basically tapped into her brain, and we see that she's got like spots on the back of her neck earlier, and then the thing gets sucked out by space. But if it did that, it would have killed him. So you got to break the rules that were established in order for the ending to work.
That's fair. Forgive me, we're not going to linger on too long on each person because there's more of us than normal. Dave, you'll normally come up with something controversial, so...
Well, yeah, it really wasn't my favourite Doctor Who special by a long shot. It was the end of a year that I found immensely disappointing. The last year was a lot better. And one of the things that really came through in this is in the first year, the 13th Doctor was looking for people's approval all the time. Am I doing the right thing? Is this right? Whereas this year she's been, I'm the Doctor, this is what I do, and has taken much more control. And that's made for a much stronger and more interesting Doctor for me. So this is the last remnants of that poor Doctor for me. the idea of the Daleks to me were always these pathetic little creatures that needed their shells.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
And in this one, it's just like, I'm so badass. You can cut me into 3 pieces, and 1,000 years later, I can recreate myself and do all this stuff. What? That didn't work true. The scenes with the microwave just were peculiar to me. And I think the thing I got from this, 2 things. One, I've not liked the music. The music is too overpowering for me and just dull. The music in the opening sequence, rather than being an undercurrent of tension, were just up there with the dialogue. It's like, no, ignore all the nice stuff with this really nice couple that I liked a lot.
Now, is that
It's
down to the
really
sound mix?
Scary. Yeah, and one day they may release a DVD of the sound mix. But I've just found his music
What?
sounds to me more like computer game music than anything else.
No, what I meant
And-
was, when I say the sound mix, are you saying that the music is too high in the mix? It's too loud?
It's the music is too loud and it's too high up in the mix on
Okay,
times.
that's a current thing with British TV.
And also, I find the music dull. It sounds like generic computer game loop music. And there's times I'm sitting there and I've been pulled out of scenes like, this music really is not very appropriate to this. You've got this sort of menacing thing, and there's actually kind of a comedic moment going on here. You're not doing a good job of it. So I didn't enjoy that. The treatment of Unit was absolutely horrible.
Just to make a political point.
Yeah, just to rip that to pieces. One thing about the Dalek, where it's the big super duper Dalek, the Daleks are deeply into genetic purity.
Yes.
And if they've got a Dalek that is so different to the other Daleks, is it going to be a Dalek still? Because they
Well-
wouldn't create something which is genetically outside of it. And final point, I'm just trying to get these all out in one big go because she's going to tell me to shut up in a second. The thing I got from this, particularly that scene where there's the family when the TV goes out and the internet goes
That
out,
was naff.
it was horrible, and it shows why Russell T Davies was so great and why Chris Chibnall isn't. Is that Russell T Davies liked people. Russell T Davies likes people. Chris Chibnall doesn't. Chris Chibnall sees the big picture. He sees, and I'm not using it in a negative term, but he sees the agenda. He sees the point that he wants to make, but he doesn't see the people behind it. He's seeing the theory and not the actuality of people that should be impacted by it. And I think that's one of his big weaknesses to me as a writer.
Okay.
I'll shut up now. I can have a drink.
Shut up in a second.
Caffeine free.
What do you two guys make of the new theme tune?
Oh, I like the new theme tune mix, and I like the opening credit scene.
I mean, it is harking back to Hartnell again.
Yeah, no, that bit I like. Then we see the interior of the TARDIS, which I think is the most hideous TARDIS interior I've ever seen. You know, and I'm somebody who is so easily pleased. I look at the TV movie and go, you know, I quite like that interior. And this one is just like, no, that's horrible.
Those jelly babies that you got there.
I got them for Christmas.
Excellent.
I
approve.
accidentally hit the repeat order button.
Great. So I got 2 boxes.
Brian's present will probably arrive around New Year's Day.
New Year's, yeah.
Yeah.
2024.
Yes, probably.
Oh God, I hope not. That would be horrible.
My favorite TARDIS interior is the Fourth Doctor's like emergency backup
Yes.
interior. You know, the wooden one with the.
The
That's
one-
my
yeah.
favorite one.
Yep.
No,
The one
no,
I'm currently
no,
sitting in.
No,
Yeah.
it's the one from the Three Doctors. That's the best one.
Well, it's the wooden one is my favorite one.
You
I
just
That's
went
my
around
second.
him
things.
and Leela and fighting vampires or something. It's sort of.
But
then Fourth Doctor's my
yeah,
favorite.
but my favorite version of the theme is still going to be the one from the TV movie.
That's because you're sick and twisted.
No, it's kind of like seeing the look on your face when I say that.
Yeah. I know. Brian! Rescue
Oh,
me
no.
from this.
No.
Fuck you, Brian.
And that is your Christmas present.
Behold the field where I sow my fucks.
For it is barren.
Indeed.
It was the capstone of a disappointing season. It wasn't disappointing because of the acting. The actors are superb. I love the actors. It's the writers not knowing the material and not going with the material's strength, trying to be too different, too much, too fast, and just not getting it. It had the right notes. It had the right formula.
Just not in the right order.
It not in the right order and not well executed. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
It has a super high body count, but
Yeah.
you don't care about any of the people who are murdered.
No, the grunts.
Whereas in
They're nameless NPCs.
yes, and I was talking to Dave about this right after we watched it, and of course it sort of fails my point because I can't remember the girl's name either. But there was an episode, and I think it's a Matt Smith episode, where he talks to the villain and he says, her name was so and so, and she was really brave, and you killed her. And you know, she's like a one-shot character, but that we cared about those characters who died. That makes the villain that much scarier. And I think that's what's really missing here. Like, this Dalek is really scary, and one Dalek being scary is great, just like in Dalek. But that they're trying to make us care.
Yes. They're just not getting the caring part.
And
Yeah.
and Elizabeth's going to roll her eyes because it's the one I always bring up. Kablam.
I like it.
At the end, when you've got that girl who is, and I mean it in the nice sense, she's pathetic. She is sweet and she is sad, and she just is happy to get this box, and she is murdered. And the doctor's response is to go, look, see what happened, and she kind of sides up with the girl's killers. And I just found that really offensive. If you watch it, rather than hold them responsible for the murder of an innocent character, she's like, well, they've got a good point there.
So meanwhile, back on Resolution.
Well,
Yeah, bollocks.
well, it was like when they were on the space station back in
Yes.
season 1. You had deaths by the dozens on that space station, and you cared about it.
Mm-hmm.
This was 2 NPC cops and nothing.
Well,
It was
yeah,
definitely lacking a lot of empathy.
Okay, Eddie,
Didn't like
are you
it.
chewing, Boyd? Are you chewing?
I've got enough for everybody, though.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
brought enough to share.
No, enough for everybody. A little bit kind of hit on it because Dalek did this so much better. And so why did they need another one where it was a case of one Dalek against the world?
Well,
Plot hole.
we
plot
may
holes
we may remember Dalek, but the audience has moved on by 15 years.
Yeah.
The writer clearly
Occasionally
was
they
that
need-
first year.
People need to be reminded.
That was
When
being
he-
done before so much better.
Oh, all right then.
Uh,
I have a problem with the plotting of it.
So do that. We've got a Dalek. We've already established that Daleks are this source of danger. They're one of the most terrifying and dangerous creatures in the world. But we've already established at the start of this that they've been beaten. This Dalek was defeated by people with primitive technology. And by the time we get to the end of this exercise, we get a Dalek that's defeated by a microwave oven. It just doesn't hold off. There's too many
Microwave.
problems.
It's more than a microwave. It's an oven also.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
an
I
air
forgot.
fryer. They're gonna have calamari.
They're going to air fry the Dalek.
The problem I had with it was the stuff with Ryan's father. Now, obviously, this is of plot threads that needed to be looked at and whatever. It's just the way they were intercut with the action stuff. It just felt like it was just randomly plonked in rather than, it
I
broke
think
the
that's
flow.
more of a case of the writers not knowing how to write empathy and sympathy than anything else. They put that in there to tug at your heartstrings. Great. To they failed on all accounts.
Well, they put that in to tug at the heartstrings. Then they put in the joke about the Wi-Fi to get us all laughing, and none of it worked. It didn't work.
I really liked the whole Graham Ryan plot that year, and I understood, the difficulty of their relationship and how they had to grow to be close to each other, and that was all really good. It was kind of the best parts of that season. And bringing back his dad did, as you say, Siobhan, wrap up plot points. And I think they could have done some really interesting things with it. But there's a thing in romance fiction where a character, and even though, like, a character who screwed up badly has to have a good grovel before you're forgiven. And
I sit here and watch things with her.
Hang on,
and she's
hang
like,
on.
No, you've not apologized enough.
Let her finish.
So he
Oh.
says to Ryan, I'm trying to turn my life around. What is it you want me to say? And Ryan gives a speech at him, which clearly, like, it sounds like Ryan's been through therapy, and that's great. But it doesn't feel like then what he gets back from his father isn't, I'm so sorry I made you feel like that, or this has been really hard for me too, or even the misunderstanding of, like, I don't know how to do or be the person you want me to do and be. We get that one little speech about basically I screwed up and I don't know how to fix it. And then they're running for the rest of the episode. And Ryan at the end forgives him, which is fine. Great, good for Ryan, but it doesn't feel earned.
I understand.
It
yes.
isn't like his father.
It's a hollow
himself
act of contrition.
Yeah, if they'd had Ryan's father throw himself in front of the Dalek, if it had been a sacrificial moment, then that might have been earned. But it feels like it happened by accident. And so that forgiveness doesn't feel earned, and that's why it doesn't feel genuine.
Okay, that perfect points, Dave.
I was going to say at the end when the Dalek is being pulled out of the TARDIS, if he saw that Ryan was going to put himself at risk and let go and let himself be sucked out into space, would that have been a moment which could have done it better?
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, I don't want characters that I don't want Ryan to suffer more trauma. I'm perfectly happy with him reconciling with his dad, or even just forgiving his dad for being the man he was and, like, do better. But you're right. He needed some element to show he was sorry, not just say it and tote around.
Not just bring a microwave.
It's like I carried a watermelon.
Microwave.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
He carried one just because. I mean, he carries that thing everywhere.
It's his special friend.
It's a giant box microwave.
You never know. It's like Rory's dad, Brian, always carried a trowel.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ryan's dad carries a microwave.
I loved Rory's dad.
Brian.
He finally understood what a rubber duck was for.
Quite. Eddie, you got anything more to say, love? Because we sort of spoke over you.
No, not at all. So I like Jodie in this though. So this was like Jodie's, like Dave kind of hit on it. She was courageous. She took charge. The whole thing around Ryan's dad, she's the only one that doesn't mince her words. She's just basically, you let Ryan down. It's just, there's no cutting. She cuts through the crap. So I thought the Doctor was written very well in this episode. I liked Jodie's performance in it. But again, for me, I was taken out of it by the plot holes. That Dalek was defeated too easily at the start, defeated too easily at the end. So I'm really hoping that for the one that's coming forward, that we basically get to see a little bit more of a threat from the Daleks and a little bit more, I don't know, just consistency with it. It was a bit it kind of up and down for me. I like some of the performances. I love Graham. I thought Graham's great as well. I'm going to miss Bradley Walsh now that, spoilers, that he's potentially leaving next week. But again, there was a lot of lazy plot holes in this, which just kind of took me out. So
Well, there we go.
He was the best at getting peanut butter.
absolutely.
And having sandwiches.
I am
Exactly.
kind of dreading next year because Yaz hasn't really been explored fully as a character yet, and I'm not sure that at this stage that's going to happen. I mean, I call her Space Nissa, and that is what she is to me now. She's New Series Nissa because she could have been an interesting character, but she's not.
She's got one threat looming over her. If Barrowman's going to become a regular character, it's game over for years. There's no.
Oh, yeah.
Who at the end of the Dune episode was just thought, oh, so wait a second, if Dr. Ruth and Captain Jack have to go off and find the doctor, and that's the rest of the season.
Oh, there's your season. Writes
That
itself.
would have been an awesome season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should go up against the Autons.
Your plastic pals who are friend to be with.
No. Yes, and the plastic
I'm talking about,
population.
yes, I was talking about, yes.
Only ways up.
Yeah, damn straight.
So,
So are we putting a thumbs up for this one? A half thumbs up? No thumbs up? What's the score?
Mid.
Oh, well, there we go. Hopefully, the next Friday's Revolution of the Daleks will sort things out a little bit. Be a bit better. And we didn't do a big finish because I thought we'd dive a little bit on. For a start, it's too much to ask them to do a couple of other things as well. And especially in the time needed.
And also with me being on board, I'm just going to shout my big mouth off so much that there won't be much time for that as well.
That was what I was subtly getting round to.
I'm just loving this. A Christmas tree with a ceiling fan just to the left. It's great. It's just, we've got snow outside, and Dave's got his Christmas tree and his ceiling fan on.
Oh, we always have a ceiling fan on.
Oh.
It's supposed to be on the outside if you want to take off.
There's one in the room that I'm in, but I turned it off because it makes too much noise in here. With they run 24/7. In fact, we only turn them off, occasionally to if we're recording or something, and then we go, oh, we should really dust that.
How often do they get maintained?
Because we just turn it back on.
No, I do tend to dust him, but yes.
Well, you do because he can reach them.
And poor Brian's knee deep in snow. Or it was.
That's true.
It's a little melty. It's more muddy now.
Gunge. And you never quite know if your footing's going to be solid enough or not.
Plus it's all grey and dark forever now.
And how are things in Broadfield?
I don't know.
Not been out there? Because I tell you why, I've been looking recently. We spent a lot of our time completely off track here. I should not do this.
That's all right. Like I say, I factored this in.
Because we did see, we go to the realty places, the estate agents, and see what's for sale.
Yeah.
And there's 12 flats in a block above the hardware store and the post office available for sale.
In America?
Oh, over here in Broadfield.
What?
Broadfield, where the post office is, and you got the hardware store next to it.
But you're seeing the advert. You're seeing the adverts.
Oh no, we go and look at them deliberately.
Yeah, we go and look for them deliberately.
Ah,
so if we win the lottery, we may buy them.
The lottery.
I wouldn't want to live there.
Well.
Quite frankly, no. I'm happy where I am in my little place. No, I've not been anywhere. And with us in Tier 4, I'm not planning on going anywhere. So there we go.
Well, good, because you are a national treasure and an international treasure, and you need to look after yourself.
No, I'm not. No, I am not.
Yes, you are, and yes, you
Yes,
do. You're deep. Every time I talk to other podcasters and your name comes up, you are held in such high esteem.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
are.
Yes.
no.
Yep. No.
Yep, you are. You're
I'm
held
just
in high esteem.
a mouthy
Look how
bince
humble she's being.
Yeah, look.
because I don't like it. I get embarrassed about stuff like that, and I don't believe it either. I think.
Well, that's our job.
Elizabeth, turn the camera on so Siobhan can see the Siobhan throne we have in our bedroom.
I'll
That's
send you a sock.
disturbing sentence.
I'll send you a sock. I'll sign it.
Ah.
Oh dear, no, I'm crap. Yeah. So right, well, that was Resolution. Goodness me, wasn't it just? We also watched something else. I'm trying to put the brakes on Brian, but I don't think it's going to happen. We watched the second episode of Blake 7, which I believe is known as Spacefall.
It's okay. I'm already on 5.
Yeah, I thought you might be. Where the first Blake is locked up on the spaceship London with a lot of other ne'er-do-wells. And it's a prison ship. It's transporting them, or a penal ship if you like. It's transporting them to Cygnus Alpha, the penal planet of doom.
Wait, it's Space Australia?
Yeah, Space Australia, basically. Though we don't see any spiders when we get there, which is nice. Hopefully spiders don't make it into space. That's a dream I can have. Anyway, and gradually as
what
time...
are the Nearachnos?
Yeah, they're from the dawn of time. They're not around now, love.
Oh, okay. That's how we're getting around that.
One of them
That's-
formed the
that's-
Earth.
Or I can just turn around and say they're fictional.
True.
So, yeah. And over the course of the episode, which does take... It takes a period of time. It doesn't rush it as if it's all happening there and then. So space travel obviously takes a hell of a long time. And, you know, it's almost as if we've been with the ship and the prisoners for a few months. But they get to the point where they can form an escape. And they try and do it. And they come that close, within a gnat's minimum of taking control of the ship. Unfortunately, because it's written by Terry Nation, somebody has to round up a load of prisoners and kill them one by one until Blake and co give up. By then, there's a few problems. There's obviously a space battle going on. It's affecting the London rather badly. And it turns out there's a derelict ship ahead. What a ship. Oh, what a ship. She was beautiful. Unfortunately, she's also got a defense mechanism. So if anybody tries to board her, it'll drive them completely, utterly, doolally dead. And so after losing a couple of officers, they send the prisoners because they're expendable. So Blake, Jenna and Avon go over. Now, Blake's had his mind tampered with, as we mentioned last week. And as a result of that, it doesn't quite work on him, and he's able to shoot the defence thing and shut it down. They realise they've now got control of the ship, they shut the airlock doors, and they bugger off, leaving everybody else behind. And that was Blake 7's Spaceful. Right. Dave,
Hello.
talk to me about Blake 7, love.
It's really good.
For the moment.
I actually clearly remember seeing the first episode of Blake 7 the week before this one.
Yeah.
Because it was the days before video and you didn't know when you were going to see it again. And we had people come around to see us for New Year. And I was like, no, I'm going to go in my bedroom and watch this show. I want to watch on the black and white TV in it. So the first episode to me is always in black and white. This episode is when the show really starts coming to life because a certain Mr. Paul Darrow appears, who absolutely owned the show from this point onwards.
Well, now.
With his gloriously Shakespearean performance. And
That's one way of putting it, yes.
And I gotta be honest, I really like David Jackson as Gan
Yes.
because he is very well spoken and nice, and he doesn't need to raise his voice. He's just like, yeah, we don't need the whole hand.
You see, that's a big person turning around and showing you how it should be done.
Well, yes, but I follow your example instead.
Fair. Yeah, no, take it.
I really enjoyed the pacing of this one. The only thing that really two things I laughed at unintentionally. One was when the airlock opens up and the guy comes rushing in as they're about to send them across. Because that was just all like, okay, that's the point you say no.
I've got a death scene, damn it, and I'm going to act it.
I'm wearing my
Just
special
before they
red
turn the
undershirt.
lights out at 10 p.m.
Yes. And when they sort of like, we're going to go into a super duper spacey, quick, fast hyperdrive thing, and you get this bit of smoke coming out of the back of the ship, and it looked like something from the 1930s Flash Gordon serials.
They were cool ships.
Apart from that, it worked out really well. Oh, and also reminded me of the fact of, Siobhan may remember this, airball air fresheners, which were like a ball with a little thing on the top of it, and you opened it up and there were little slots in it.
Yes.
And the back of the Liberator always reminds me of the airball fresheners. This was actually really good. I got into it straight away, thoroughly enjoyed it, well acted, well paced. It looked good. I had a little bit of a a sort of like ooh moment when you first saw the deck of the Liberator.
Yes. Clean and
It's just like, oh,
pristine.
that's where we're going to be. Sally Knivet was wonderful, and a lot of the subtleties of her performance, which probably would have gone by me when I was a teenager, I really picked up on and enjoyed it.
It's rather
couple
apt,
of things.
really. She's going to be spending the rest of the series with large, hairy men.
Yeah, well, yes, but she was born in Horsham, Sally Knivet.
Nivet, surely.
No, Knivet.
Let's call the whole thing off.
And her actual name is Sally James.
Oh, no, there's an irony.
And I interviewed Sally James a few months back on the PDAIS Professor Dave's Ark in Space podcast.
Well, that's the Sally James from Tiswas.
Yes.
There we go. Yes, I forgot
And
to mention
Saturday
the podcast. I'll let you plug that afterwards.
It's all right. Just
Oh, yeah.
Lilibet?
Thank you. Okay, I've kind of famously talked about Blake Seven in the past. When we used to watch Sci-Fi Saturday Night on our local PBS channel, they ran a whole bunch of these kinds of shows, and then Doctor Who, all of the episodes of a Doctor Who story would come after it, and it was like Star Cops and Red Dwarf, and then Blake Seven, and then all the episodes of Doctor Who. But we never quite knew how many episodes there were, so we always
That's
set the
a 19.
DVR or the DVR, the VHS. So I used to call this, and I still call this, Blake Seven's the longest hour of television, because I was always waiting for Doctor Who to come on, and Blake Seven just kind of dragged, and I was 12, 13, something like that. I was like, okay, you're talking in corridors. Come on. Where's Doctor Who?
Something I need to mention. Please do not spoil the ending of Blake Seven. Brian doesn't know about it. We're going to do a live. We're going to do a live reaction.
But I know that I'd seen it all. I remembered the theme tune. I remembered that there's and this isn't a big spoiler or anything, but that there's a computer on board that talks to them. Things like that I remembered. I remembered they were political fugitives, that kind of thing. I remembered Avon, but I didn't remember a whole lot else. And I don't remember particularly seeing this episode at the time. Although I must.
Is this the first time you've been watching these episodes since then?
It's the first time, since probably 20 years.
Ooh, it'd be interesting to get your views on them.
I enjoyed this a lot more than I expected to. I enjoyed the acting. There were some good lines. The whole threat with the girl, I won't remember anybody's names, but that's fine, was really sinister. But as Dave was just talking, what I thought of actually is the relationship between the captain and the first officer, and I guess the second officer, who's studying, and who I quite liked and reminded me of Ford Prefect, just the actor. But the relationship between them kind of reminded me of the captain of the B Ark and Number One, who always wants to go around shooting everything. Because he's so
Ask them what they want to drink,
sadistic.
Number One.
And the captain, clearly, he's just like stuck in his career and goes along to get along. And he's got this, he tolerates his Number One because he makes running the prison ship work. And so he clearly overlooks some of his worst behavior. And says, be discreet. Oh, yeah, that was super discreet. Definitely discreet what he was doing.
Well, the captain was going to end up reporting him.
Yeah, but only because he murdered a whole bunch of prisoners on camera.
Proto
If you hadn't
Travis.
Things happen.
And I did quite enjoy this, but because I know how this goes, and because they've kind of established it's a Terry Nation script, they're going to make us like people and then kill them off. Yeah. And they do that in this episode. That poor kid caught in the corridor.
Oh, yes, very much so.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like shows that make me like people and then kill them off, but at least I know what I'm going in for.
Hang on. When we just talked about Doctor Who, you were sort of saying, they didn't do this. They didn't make us care about it.
I know. But with Doctor Who, it matters because that is a one-shot episode.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's sort of like these are characters we might care about, but we're never going to see again. Whereas, obviously, this is the beginning of a much longer series.
Okay, fair enough. Eddie.
Oh, this is just right up my street. I'm watching it again because I watched it all the way through when it came on BritBox, and then I've started back to the beginning and watched it all the way through again. Can't help it. You watch it and you just notice things now. Like in the bridge, we get Johnny Briggs' dad meets that fella for Howard's Ray. It's just I kind of just relate it back to other TV shows now.
That's the joy of some of these things, the people you get to see in them.
Absolutely. I might have mentioned this about 15 times before, but I'm going to keep saying it every week. I've been on The Liberator. It was an exhibit at the BBC TV exhibition in Blackpool back in the 70s. So I've been on The Liberator. It was a joyous, happy childhood memories. They should have called it Spacey McSpaceship, but that's fine. Liberator.
No, I agree with you. I do agree. Yeah, no. The 70s, they just didn't have the money to actually sort of put a name that long.
They should have asked the Glaswegians to do it. But there you go. That's fine. But it's just so good. It's so gloriously dark, and it just like Elizabeth says, it's you get to know these characters, and then that poor boy that gets killed by a foam party in the corridor. It's just people that they tease could have been part of the crew are going to be recurring characters just to be ripped away. It's just gloriously bad. It's just really, really evil. And old me kind of quite likes that now. I don't know. It sets things up, and it's that they were so close to actually taking over the transporter freight, and then it's just that Blake's ethics, and Blake just can't help himself and reneges and the bad guys kind of win. But no, it's just I'm going to keep watching it. Blake 7, liked it as a kid. Appreciating it more as an adult, and just yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You like that, Brian? It's not Life on Mars. You're into the second episode. Come on.
I love this one.
Hey,
I love it. I love this show. Are you kidding? It's definitely a slow burn. It's a nice, but it's nice. It's a good slow burn. It's like habaneros. You eat it and you get a little heat. You swallow it.
Everything's food,
and
based
then your mouth
you,
explodes into. Oh yeah,
every metaphor, yeah.
I'm starving. I go straight for food.
Yeah, Brian, have a jelly baby.
Oh dear, you couldn't have one.
How do you know?
I'll have yours. Oh,
those aren't jelly babies.
No, but I'm back on the mix, man.
Oh no, not on the mix. Oh shit, he's going.
So
the last time.
Yeah, no, I love this show. It's why I've gone so far ahead already. I have to restrain myself from watching it at work during lunch. But yeah, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Blake's morality, I can see why he slowly gets killed off. Avon's
is Avon's sarcasm and just don't give a damn.
Avon is the rat bastard we need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Avon is what happens if you get Purcell and mix him up with Breaking Bad.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. I'm not convinced that hasn't happened yet. If I'm honest with you.
I love Jenna. Jenna's a great pilot character. I mean, she could fly rings around anyone. Gan, the quiet guy, the forced quiet guy, because we find out later why he's so peaceful. Nobody remembers that?
Yes, the limiter. We're waiting for you to carry on talking.
All
right.
I know you used to be interrupting, but I thought, oh no, let him speak.
I know. What are you doing not interrupting me?
I do apologize.
How dare you?
Sorry, carry on.
I just really like everything about it.
As it was, you enjoyed it then?
Yes, much more than Life on Mars. And now I'm going back to the mix.
Yeah, good. We'll have to stage another intervention at some stage. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So I'm guessing it's thumbs up all round for the Blake 7 thing?
Absolutely.
And we may have to try the Blake 7 audios, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Because some of them are by Ben Aronovich.
Oh, I am quite the fan of Ben Aronovich.
If you're doing, we're doing the watch through. When we reach the episode called Star One, once we've seen that, we're going to listen to an audio that fills in the time between Star One and the next television episode. And it's called Warship. So I'll let you think about what that might be. But there's an awful lot to happen soon. Next week, it's Brian Blessed. It's another big, loud man with beards.
Don't
This-
talk about Elizabeth like that.
This is what, your beard? This is. Stop shaking your head. You can't live in denial forever. This. You see, this is post Flash Gordon, Brian. Pre Flash Gordon, Brian, he was quiet. He was a very studied actor. Watch I, Claudius, for example.
To take it back, this was 78. Flash Gordon was 80,
Yeah.
81.
Yeah,
so
this is pre-Flash.
Ooh, I
That's
said.
interesting.
I just want to know how much drugs this guy has done during the 70s. To
He'd
get
probably
to be
tell
like
you.
This.
He probably would tell you,
All
and he
of
would
that.
he
Brian,
would
if you ever get
exaggerate
the
it.
chance to see his when he did Have I Got News for You, and actually chaired that was just the guy's not, he's not on this planet.
His
He is not.
autobiography is pretty amazing. He also, when he was on Richard Herring's live at Leicester Square or whatever it was, which was a sort of video cast, he basically, the whole idea was he was going to be interviewed by Richard Herring, and essentially he just took over and did his one-man show. And it was... Man's a bloody legend, quite frankly. He really is. I get the feeling he could have very dark moods, though.
I wouldn't have been his bad side.
Oh, well, that polar bear was.
Yeah.
He punched a polar bear.
Of course he
I've
did.
gone right off him.
Polar bear.
Well, no, the polar bear was trying to break through the tent to eat them. So he punched it.
They thought they would be tasty.
Poor polar bear. The one person you end up running into in the middle of nowhere is Brian Blessed. It wasn't truly minty. Come on, that was a good reference. Truly minty.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Look,
I wonder if you can
well,
get Fox's Glacier Mints anymore.
On the occasional time that you do a good reference, I will clearly say you've done so. But I'll also, yes, that just doesn't deserve it.
Oh, right, okay.
I,
Fair enough.
I won't denegate your good references by saying that's one of them.
Righty-ho, I have good references. There's a thought. Right, so there, that was Blake 7. Now, we've got nothing else much to talk about. Last week we were on...
Yeah.
We did 2 hours. We're coming up to an hour now. Which, however, anybody got anything else to say? I mean, we had a good chat last week.
Elizabeth can tell you about the latest episode of Professor Dave's Ark in Space, where we look at 3 Bill Murray films.
Ooh, I like Bill Murray.
You look
Wait,
at
which Bill Murray films?
Scrooged, A Very Merry
Okay.
Christmas, and On the Rocks.
his newest one with Rashida Jones.
Oh, nice.
And we
Which
do find a
short
link which
version
goes
is
between
is
them.
Good.
Long version, it's really good. And next week we're going to look at the new Wonder Woman film and Soul.
Don't forget to watch the end credits.
You're not going
There's
to
a
the
scene.
pictures, are you?
No, of course
it's
not.
on HBO Max
HBO
over here.
Max.
Yeah, I've already seen it. It's not bad.
Yeah, I've heard people say it's not bad. We may watch the Linda Carter TV
2.5
original as well.
hours though.
That's on
I don't know if
HBO
I don't know
Max
if I
too,
can
so-
watch something
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours.
It's long.
Yeah, but if you're watching it in your living room, you can get up,
Pause
pause,
it.
have a snack.
I think 2.5 hours is about the entire length of a Scottish World Cup campaign, isn't it?
Oh,
It's okay. I cooked a roast.
He went there. He went there.
that was below the belt. But yeah, no, we deserve it. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably right. That's a good World Cup campaign, 2.5 hours. We qualified for something recently though.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Yeah.
Raynox the Green has just spoken. I want to see film 2021 with Dave and Lilibet.
Well, come along to Professor Dave's Ark in Space and download it, and we'll be probably covering more stuff because HBO's putting most of the Warner Brothers stuff out straight away, so we can do it and be lazy.
Do you have an address that Radox
Can't wait for
can
Real
have?
News Dune. I can't wait for
Yes.
that one.
You go to Libsyn and type in PDAIS.
So Libsyn being Libsyn.
Oh,
Yes.
That's it.
I've got a story, Dave, that you might
Have
have
you-
to rebrand
Go on,
your
tell me.
podcast.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. Bugger, I've got no indigestion tablets. Okay, carry on.
You may have to rebrand for the Glaswegian audience, because see if I don't know if I can demonstrate it. See if you go to Alexa, play Professor Dave's Ark in Space podcast with a Glaswegian accent. The gibberish and crap that you get back, you end up having arguments.
No, that's
with
our
it.
show.
I
That's
end
our
up
show.
having arguments
very true.
with the Alexa.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know the part in Galaxy Quest where she just keeps repeating the computer and goes, "I have one job," right? Okay, our Alexa
That was on
doesn't
yesterday.
have his accent, so he'll tell it to play something, and it will play something completely different, and he argues with it.
Oh,
I get annoyed. It will play bad versions of good songs.
He'll be like play something, I don't know, some Beatles song or whatever, and it'll start playing it, and it'll be like Justin Bieber's cover version, you know.
oh, I get Alexa, play Professor Dave's Ark in Space podcast, and I get Professor Dave's Arkansas spaceship is not on this device.
Radox, as I just answered, he gets PDAIS on iTunes, but he's 3 years behind,
That's all right. You can catch up.
You got some good stuff to catch up on then.
he says.
We have. I'm glad you're listening. Thank you for
Yeah,
listening.
and also
You're
be
probably
careful.
as far behind as my brother.
Yeah, when you go for PDIS, watch out, because there's also, I think it's the Philadelphia Dental Association insurance scheme, which you
Yes.
also find if you put PDIS into.
It's why we couldn't use
Google.
the initials. It's why we have to do Prof Days on Twitter and things, because otherwise we end up being them. Yeah, but my brother listens, you know, occasionally, and we can tell when he's gotten to an episode because he'll text me something about it, and he's about 3 years behind, so no shame.
Fair enough.
I occasionally put in comments about the American version of The Office, just so that there'd be a message that he will say about it.
'Cause it's his favorite show.
Yeah.
We don't get feedback.
No?
No, we don't get much feedback either.
No, nobody emails us.
We don't want feedback. No, we don't want to
No,
take that.
no, it's safer this way.
No, I don't. No, not advisable.
Yeah.
No comments on YouTube. Come on, guys. Leave a comment. Say hello.
I've
Let us know you
commented.
exist. You don't count in this respect, though.
Doesn't
do
matter.
you?
There are comments.
Dear
Like,
me.
share.
It's like
comment,
buying your own
subscribe.
single to try and get it to number one. You know, it's.
The
which
last
used to
record I
happen.
got only got to number 5 in the UK charts. I won't say what it was, but look at the current charts, and it's number 5.
Ah, yes, I know the one of which you speak.
Mm-hmm.
He's 3 years behind on a lot of other podcasts too. Well, I think the Flash and Blade took a break, so he should catch up quite easily. But there's a lot of Flash and Blade out there. There's also the Vidiprog on YouTube, which is on the Flash and Blade YouTube channel. Why I never put the two together, I don't know, but there we go. I just ended up putting on my own YouTube channel.
Well, we ended up doing, what is it called? The pod thing that we do? What is it
Pod
called? then?
Chaser.
Pod Chaser. And it's kind of like IMDb for podcasts,
Oh, I.
and it's fairly new. So you can like set yourself up with your podcast and all that stuff, but you can say all the different episodes you've been on, like guests on different podcasts and things like that. And so I had to go back through and like search, like, I know I've been on this podcast. Let me look at their archives to see where I showed up. Oh, episode 3, like 8 years ago. Okay. You know?
You've got all your appearances on the Blade. God knows how many of those were.
There were quite a few of those, but I don't think I put all of those up.
Just sort of say regular
Who
contributor to
Cast.
the Flashing Blade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
WhoCast, and then the Goodies, where Joe and I talked for like ages. I think it was well gone midnight by the time, because they're out of Australia. So they were in Australia, and I was in Florida, and Joe was there, and we had a very nice chat, and you know, quite a few of them.
Dave and I got invited on the Goodies podcast to do a commentary, didn't we? And we ended up, didn't say much because we were too busy enjoying the episode.
Yeah, we spoke to Jeffers last year because obviously we lost Tim Brooke Taylor this year, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
So
was a great loss.
we were listening to when our
Are we
electricity
still
was out. I've got a
transmitting-
bunch of
By the way, are we still transmitting to the internet at this stage?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just talking complete nonsense.
Yeah,
Are we?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Basically, this is how we normally end the show. Just sitting
This
there
is our
chatting.
usual show.
Okay.
So Elizabeth,
It's a lot
Dave,
more
you
relaxed
watched
than the
Wild Rose
blading
yet?
audio.
I'm not giving in. Have you watched Wild Rose yet? It's on Amazon. It's been on Netflix. You've
I
got
watched
to watch
what?
Wild Rose.
We watched yet? What yet?
Wild Rose.
No, not yet. Not yet, but I have it on our list. We've,
you?
to be honest, the last few weeks have just been like, I'm finally on vacation from work. So I had this past week off and this coming week, and on vacation is a relative term because
What's happening when they go back? Are you doing distance, or
Um,
are you going to have to go back into
Well,
school?
I'm still distanced learning until the middle of January, because we started late. Our term doesn't end till the middle of January, so we're going to go back for 2 weeks and then the term ends.
I've got a
That's
friend.
what's happening in Scotland as well.
I got a friend.
American schools, we don't have a break between terms. Like term ends sometimes Tuesday, and then the new term starts Wednesday. This week, this time we happen to have a 3-day weekend in between. But
Oh, okay.
when the new term starts in my area, all the teachers are being asked to go back. We may or may not have children in person. It looks like I'm going to have 2 in-class, two in-person classes on top of what I already have, which is a full load of 6 classes virtually.
I've got a
So
friend who's
that'll
a
be interesting.
I've got a friend who's a teacher. She teaches special needs. And so far, she's had to have 4 COVID tests. She's been laid low with this, that, and the other because of it. Not because of COVID, but the staff are just at their wits' end. They can't keep
Yes.
going because you'll have a year there, for example, or a class there. All it takes is for one to test positive, and they do, and that's it. The class is gone again.
Ours works
she's
slightly
worried
different
all the time.
because and as she should be. I mean, the teachers who teach special education are saints in heaven to start with. I could not do what they do.
She got
So,
beaten
more
up
power
very
to her.
badly last year.
That
She was
poor
off for
woman.
quite some time, PTSD and everything.
Yeah, of course.
But she's back.
Yeah.
She's back.
brave
Which
soul.
is why, I mean, I've said to you before how much I admire teachers. It's a vocation. It's not a. It's not a
and
job.
This is my 17th year.
Goodness me, you're not old enough.
I started in 03 straight out of college. So
You'd
which
have got
would be
less for murder.
university for you guys. But yeah, this year I've got all seniors, and it helps I had all seniors last year, so at least I know the curriculum and I have stuff pre-made. And I've been teaching completely virtually since
Plus, they're a little
March of
bit more
last year.
sensible, I should imagine.
It's I mean, I've slowed the curriculum way down. We're just finishing up
yes.
Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and normally we finish that in October. So we've slowed way down. We're just going to start Macbeth in early January. But I'm teaching in Florida, and without getting too political, our governor is prioritizing keeping things open instead of keeping things closed. And I have many feelings about that.
I'm sure.
Um,
Probably that you can't say on a show like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I'm not happy about his choices. I think he should go away and think about things a little bit more.
That's a
but-
teacher's response there, boys.
what you need to do is do what we did. So obviously we're going into a second lockdown, tier 4. All you need to do is get Saatchi and Saatchi involved and rebrand COVID. So we've got COVID Ultra, I think now. So we've got this new
I
Ultra,
see.
new and
I
improved
see.
It's
COVID.
hip.
Yeah, we-
It's young. It's for the youth.
Yes. Yes.
I'm waiting for the Brexiteers, who don't really believe it anyway, to turn around and claim it as a great British thing, this new thing. And we need to spread it as much as we can so everybody gets it.
Yeah. So, what with one thing and another, the way we're not in lockdown in any way, shape, or form, and they've set it so that if someone in a class, the teachers have to keep up to date seating charts with the administration, and if someone within 6 feet has had more than 15 minutes of cumulative exposure, then they're quarantined. But teachers are not, because we're essential workers. So whether we've been exposed or not, we go to work, which sort of defeats the whole point.
Somebody put it very well about this whole school situation. Basically, having the schools open is like having a peeing area in a swimming pool.
Yeah. And
Brian's got another name for essential worker, though, haven't you, Brian?
Yes.
You're an essential
What is it,
worker
Brian?
too.
Well, we can't really say sacrificial because it's just too dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Expendable, possibly.
Expendable.
Basically, if you're that important,
Disposable.
why don't you get the wages to go with it?
Yes.
That's the
Amen.
whole point. Isn't it just?
But my principal's been great. The staff at my school have been really great, and she has let me teach from home since October. I had pneumonia in October, non-COVID related, but that doesn't really make it better.
No.
So I've been teaching from our dining room table since October. So gotten very comfortable on Zoom, and have things set up, and that's been working. But our county's decision is that everybody has to go back. So, because our numbers are going up, both kids re-enrolling in our school, and my school is really big. My school has,
Yes, I remember you
well,
saying.
last year we had 2,500 kids.
That's just madness to me.
Sounds like my son's school.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, we're a huge area high school.
God, I'm glad. I'm so
and
glad I didn't go to school
Take
there.
everybody.
Dear me.
We take everybody. So, yeah,
A couple of things from Radux
it's
agreeing
a
here.
challenge.
He thinks they're already trying to spread it. That's why they're letting flights go out from Tier 4 areas, apparently. Madam, what tier is this?
It's not good.
I think we're living in a world which just shows lots of people have lots of ideas on the internet. I think we're living in a reality now when that goes too far. So I tend to look for backup data.
Yes, it's very wise. Snopes, for example, is always a very good place. Radux
Yeah.
also said, last PDAIS I listened to was Cat People and Curse of the Cat People,
a good
October
one.
2017.
Oh, which was a really
Yeah,
good
great
one.
double bill
Yep.
films.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
God, let's see what.
And two very, very different
Yep.
films.
It was originally going to be called Amy's Friend, Curse of the Cat People, if I remember correctly.
As you
Did
can
she
see,
have a
we're
crack in
all
her
astounded
wall?
by that fact.
Pray to
Was she
Santa.
redhead, Scottish?
No, she was a little girl. And she was,
But yeah, it was.
Little
It's the
Canadian.
second one's really sweet. It's like a fairy tale, almost, sort of.
Okay.
Whereas the first one's more like a creepy noir horror story.
I'm just looking to see what Radux has missed out on since then. Loads of Godzilla episodes.
Eurovision.
Nothing wrong with Godzilla.
No,
Eurovision.
I agree with you entirely. Eurovisions.
That terrible Eurovision movie.
I like
yeah.
the Eurovision movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I liked a lot of it, but Lars, I have very strong feelings about Lars.
He hasn't seen those Magnificent Men in their Flying Machine episode. Haven't seen her or read or listened to our interview with Sally
Sally
James.
James.
Yeah.
See, we don't bother with any of that nonsense nowadays.
Our Cliff Richard episode.
Oh, saying
Yeah.
that, I'm going to try and arrange your podcasting interview test.
What's
Oh,
that
what
test?
is a podcasting interview?
They haven't interviewed anybody yet, so...
Ah.
Who haven't?
Eddie and Brian, the people you're on this show with, love.
Haven't they?
You're on a show,
Oh, well.
remember?
No, I'm looking at our show. Oh, that we had a really good one last year with somebody talking about John Pertwee and
Mad old
the
bint.
Paxos, yes.
Mad old bint. Yes, indeed.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That's
We
not the...
all the ones for the kids.
That's not the story I've chosen for Toby Haydock's Happy Times and Places. I suppose I can announce I'm going to be on it.
Yes. Excellent.
I'm not saying what story I've chosen, but I was a git.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to because I'm finding Toby's stuff really good. he basically does a commentary for each episode, and then the guest has to have chosen one or two things from each episode that are their favourite, their highlights. And I've been watching what other people have done and gone, oh shit. My entire thing that I did for a 4-episode Doctor Who story lasted 10 minutes. How the...
Whoop.
That's just it. And because when he's recording it, he records it live because he doesn't want to hear what's coming up. I think he's going to have a bit of trouble. Well, there we go. I also may have chosen a couple of things that he wouldn't have thought of. Because I'm me. Right, I think we can call that a night. It's an hour and 15 in. Thank you both very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank
It was
you.
a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for inviting us on.
No, it's been a long time
Nice
coming.
to meet Eddie.
Before we go,
Brian, you have
Siobhan,
lousy taste in TV.
Before Siobhan, I'm going to say to David
Yeah.
and Elizabeth, thank you for introducing me to Siobhan so that I'm actually doing this on the Sundays now. This is actually mid-2020 for me. A lot more.
Excellent.
You're welcome. And
Thank you
we
both.
take,
You're
we
very
take money
welcome.
and use notes.
But
Leave it in the
babies,
usual
I'll send you
place.
some jelly babies.
Yes.
I've got plenty of jelly babies. Another box.
Just-
I almost bought them in our international section of our grocery store.
I'm not a huge fan of
Hey,
jelly
I got
I
Wegmans.
know.
I'm happy.
yes, he's going to be on the trail mix for quite a few weeks yet.
Yeah.
He ends up making his own, which is quite industrious of him.
It's not bad. I've actually had requests to make my trail mix again.
Do you make it in the microwave?
No. It
Okay.
is a non-cooking.
Are these requests come from Eddie's wife?
My fictitious wife. There's
No,
Your
they come
fictitious
from
imaginary wife.
the person I keep upstairs imprisoned.
I thought it was the other way round.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Ah, dear. All right, then, that's us. I've got to bring this thing up now and try and get it to work. Right, then, boys and girls. That wasn't supposed to happen. Hang on. No!
Oh my God, she's regenerating again.
Okay. Say goodnight, boys and girls.
Good night, boys and girls.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Here we go.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.